कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, northern consumers deprived of savings. Rumbuka lodges complaint against Prime Minister. And Fijians get into the Diwali spirit.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Consumers in the Northern Division are being deprived of the benefits from cheaper freight and shipping costs to Vanua level. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission has launched an inquiry saying there are many layers to the issue. Edwin Nunn reports.
Traders, transport service providers and retailers are benefiting from cheaper inter-island charges, but these are not being passed on to consumers.
It has been brought to our attention that cost reductions are not being passed down and is instead being absorbed by some traders. In some instances by freight companies and in other instances by businesses directly.
According to the FCCC, freight charges have dropped to almost half the previous cost with the introduction of new inter-island ships such as Interlink.
Looking at a private vehicle, the charge is reduced from $300 to $150. For 12-wheeler truck, it reduced from around $1,200 to around $750. And for passenger fares, it was reduced from around $55 to $25 one way, possibly the cheapest it has been in recent times.
Abraham says all interested parties must be ethical and ensure that relevant savings are passed on to consumers.
Well, say a truck company is enjoying this reduction in freight cost, we have found that they are not passing any of these benefits down to Fijian businesses that use their services. And in other instances where Fijian businesses have realized the cost, they have not passed such a reduction to consumers.
Vanua level relies heavily on inter-island shipping for most of its supplies, and the FCCC will try to quantify how much savings consumers have lost out on. Edwin Nunn, FBC News.
The Leader of Opposition is calling for a thorough investigation into his allegation for breach of the 2013 Political Parties Decree by Prime Minister Vurengem Bainimarama. Sitiveni Rumbuka lodged a complaint with police earlier today regarding Bainimarama's comment at the commemoration of the 2000 mutiny. Rumbuka says the comment may have breached the inciting and sedition offences. He alleges that Bainimarama incited communal antagonism against Section 65(2) and 66, Crime Act 2009. He also lodged a complaint with the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption for alleged breaches of the Political Parties Act 2013 by Fiji First and its donors.
I'd like to respect the independence of ICAC to carry out the investigation. The incidents in it I have mentioned, and I'd like to respect the independence of ICAC to carry out their investigations according to my report. Each of us are free or is free to make their own individual reports on specific persons and specific amounts and what those persons, who those persons are in relation to the law. Are they allowed to make those donations?
FICAC confirmed that they have received the report from the Leader of Opposition. The uniqueness of Fiji and its people is widely recognized during religious and cultural festivals that is celebrated. Diwali is no exception, as every year Fijians of different races band together to celebrate the auspicious occasion. Acting India High Commissioner to Fiji, Sukanta Charan Sahu, has applauded the Fijian government for encouraging diversity and unity among all Fijians, irrespective of race and religion. Vinina Rakautonga with the story.
The Indian High Commissioner says Fiji's exclusivity in tradition must continue.
People are, very cordial. They celebrate each other's festival and they compliment each other. And I think it's best example of India reflected in Fiji.
Companies around the Suva area were in the spirit of Diwali, with the Suva City Council today hosting a grand celebration for its staff.
Even though we may be at different races, but we all live in Fiji and we all share the Bula spirit that we will come and celebrate as one.
For Diwali, we've been celebrating every year, but this is done in a grand way this year and we are so happy. And all of the different religions, we get together and celebrate Diwali.
As you can see, I've actually put on an attire just for today. So my workmates have actually provided everything for me today, and without teamwork, I wouldn't have worn the best dress for today.
A few vendors who have been affected by the pandemic are still in high spirits and have made plans to stop selling to spend time with their families.
Probably we celebrating at home and inviting the friends at home.
I think it's good, better, little bit slow, but it's okay. We're happy.
Not only will Hindus be celebrating the Festival of Light this season, Fijians of all races will be seen at Hindu homes also enjoying the delicacy and sweets Hindu families have to offer. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
The National Fire Authority has already billed businesses and homeowners for fires at uninsured premises. Chief Executive Pumau Sawane says for the past month, the NFA has been sending bills to property owners when they respond to a fire where there is no insurance cover. Kritika Kumar reports.
The NFA says they are billing people in a bid to encourage fire safety because a lot of property owners are careless.
That is something that we normally do, like we tend to keep sometimes rubbish in our homes, Those are the things that we're supposed to remove from our homes, and those are the things that also helps fire to spread quickly. So those are the type of things. Just look after your homes. Don't leave your children unattended.
The authority issues the bills according to the rates that have already been gazetted. Sawane also explains what the standard procedure is with multiple occupants in one building.
See, for example, there's 4 buildings here. Okay, the NFA will actually look at the source, where the source of the fire, and that is where we will build. Not all the whole building, but where the fire started, the origin of fire.
The local government minister says Fijians need to take the precautionary measures.
Fire can be avoided, it can be prevented, but then it's the person who has to take precautionary or should use precautionary measures to prevent fires, and it's possible to prevent fires.
The authority implemented the billing system due to the concerns with the increasing cost of attending fires on the uninsured property. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Any driver convicted of causing an accident will not receive compensation from the Accident Compensation Commission. Chief Executive Parvez Akbar says such drivers are not entitled to compensation, even if they suffer serious injuries. Pranita Prakash reports the recent increase in fatal accidents remains a concern for the Commission, as the national road death toll currently stands at 33 compared to 50 for the same period last year.
A number of rules are followed while processing applications for compensation in relation to road accidents.
Our regulations, we have some exclusions. So there are some situations where we won't pay compensation. And one of those situations is where a driver is convicted for an offense for any act or omission that directly caused the accident.
The latest road accident was recorded on Tuesday, where 2 women lost their lives in Navuab. Majority of the accidents so far this year were due to speeding or drivers driving under the influence of liquor.
Each and everyone that is behind the wheels to be responsible, to be out there and not only think about themselves but also other road users.
All road users, whether they're drivers, motorcyclists, pedestrians, and basically all road users to share the road responsibly, be sensible.
The ICCF has paid out more than $14 million for motor vehicle, employment and school accidents, out of which a large chunk was paid out for motor vehicle accidents amounting to $12 million. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Up ahead, Nasila Sila's lawyer to resubmit documents, and AMA records increase in exports.
मैं दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Social Democratic Liberal Party leader Sitiveni Rambuka has fired back at former party youth leader Peter Wangavonovono. This comes after Wangavonovono launched an attack on Rambuka for being a proposed candidate for the party's leadership position. Sodelpa is to have their election later this month, and Wangavonovono has shown discontent with Rambuka's application for re-nomination. Apinisa Wangarandovo reports Wangavonovono says Rambuka failed the party last election and should not be given a chance.
The leader of Sodelpa says Peter Wangavonovono should raise the concern with the right people.
The selection will be done by a panel, as I understand it, and he should go and talk to them rather than talking to all and sundry, because the management board has gone ahead with a decision that the interview will be done.
Rambuka says he has submitted everything needed from a candidate, saying he feels he is still fit for the role.
We were told to bring in a medical report. I have done that. If that medical report is not good enough, then I do not know what else. We cannot go outside the requirements given to us by the Secretariat of the party.
Wangavonovono says Rambuka has been a failed politician since 2000 and he doesn't see any change coming. Others vying for the position includes William Avoka, Asiri Rondronro and Rofilipe Tuisawau. The selection for leader and deputy leader will be made during the party's AGM later this month. Apinisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
Former Fiji Sevens player Aminoni Nasila-Sila's lawyer has been advised to get his house in order by the State Council. Nasila-Sila is appealing against his rape conviction. Pranita Prakash with the details.
The defense lawyer today applied to resubmit his affidavits and number it correctly, as it was not done in the previous documents presented earlier. He also asked for time to translate Nasila-Sila and the victim's Facebook messages from Itoke to English. In an earlier court sitting, the defense lawyer had claimed that Nasila-Sila's former defense team had failed to tender some documents which included Facebook messages between his client and the victim. Prosecutors today argued that the defense lawyer raised serious allegations against the former defense lawyers, and yet his own house is not in order, as he wasted 2 months and the process will now have to be repeated. The appeals judge said that the trial counsel has to be given the opportunity to respond to the new set of documents. The defense lawyer has been ordered to file 6 copies of the new document, including the translation of the Facebook messages. Nasila-Sila was convicted of raping a 24-year-old woman in Singatoka and sentenced to 8 years imprisonment by the Lautoka High Court last year. The matter will now be called on the 29th of December. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Relocation is the last option for Yaroi villagers in Matuku, despite the rise in sea level and severe storm surges reaching their doorsteps. Technical officer at the Fiji Met Services, Chone Nuravi, says the villagers need to relocate after witnessing damages caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston and Harold. Chosaina Nunga reports.
The relocation may take long for these villagers due to various processes involved.
I was posted to Matuku in 2016. One thing that got me to worry is the recurring storm surges that as far reaches the end of the village and sea level rise. I will continue to remind them about relocation, but I'm thrilled with their resilience, how they react after a disaster.
Toranganikoro Maikeli Lesikilakemba says many villagers are not agreeing with the relocation plans.
This is part of our long-term goal. We will take things little by little, and we hope to move to high ground in 20 years' time, because this is our land that shares a close connection with our culture and values.
Meanwhile, plans are in place to build a seawall to at least minimize the impact of storm surges. Chosayana Nunga, FBC News.
The Agricultural Marketing Authority has noticed an increase in their sales over the past months. Chief Executive Alvin Sharma says they are now exporting a maximum of 10 containers each month, which is a good sign for the agriculture sector. Kelly Vavala reports these containers contain fresh local produce, including fish.
The AMA's main focus now is to increase production.
As we go along and our team becomes comfortable, we start fulfilling these orders, then we'll looking at adding more retail lines to our support, which will also include visiting municipal markets, not just in the central division. It will include Fiji-wide, visiting satellite markets to see what they want.
Chief Executive Alvin Sharma says they're making regular visits to Fijians in the rural and maritime areas to see how they can assist them.
We are making a positive impact to their livelihood because they don't have anything else. The fish we are buying up from Garnivai village and the surrounding villages in the Undu Point area up in Northern Division, if we don't buy fish from them, they don't have any other source of livelihood.
Vendors say their sales are picking up slowly and AMA is assisting them with purchases.
When COVID-19 hit, we really hit rock bottom. I didn't know if I was going to get my marketing business back, but AMA has really been helpful.
Because of AMA, I was able to maintain my business after the pandemic hit. Sales are better now compared to a few months ago, and I am just grateful to still have an income.
The AMA launched its contract farming exercise in May and since has received a lot of positive responses. They now have more than 520 contracted farmers. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
And the lovely Whitney joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business tonight, business slow despite Diwali spending. And council loses revenue due to park closure. Stay with us.
Pula natang go approach lang kerse, go erkraki. Do televisi on varong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
The effects of COVID-19 on businesses in Nandi continues to be evident, as not many shops have gone all out for Diwali decorations or sales. Nandi Chamber of Commerce President Dr. Ram Raju says it will be an unusual Diwali for businesses in the jet-set town, as many are financially constrained.
There is less hype among businesses in Nandi despite the festive season.
The effects of COVID-19 can be felt during this time of the year, and we are definitely seeing less number of business activities.
Nandi has been the worst hit due to the global pandemic, as businesses and people relied heavily on tourism for income. Dr. Raju says business houses have been safeguarding themselves from further economic loss since March.
Yeah, again, that is a reflection of the downturn of the economy here in this Greater Nandi area. It's definitely not as, the atmosphere, the environment is not as good as used to be before.
While mainstream businesses are struggling, 21-year-old Yogesh Kumar, who designs Mendi, has managed to rake in more income during this Diwali period.
Till now, I did 30 or 40 people. The henna. Because yesterday I was in the market. I was doing henna there as well. And after that, one of my friends called me to Namaka to mechanical office at the back of Namaka. There was some staff as well, so I did their henna as well.
Kumar says from last week he has been busy and anticipates that more bookings will be made until Diwali for henna designs. Philippa Naikaso, FBC News.
Meanwhile, businesses in Lambasa are also facing a downturn as sales during this Diwali are not what they used to be. Many business owners in the Bambasinga town say this Diwali they've recorded their lowest sales. Koroi Tandalala reports.
The impact of COVID-19 locally has made Fijians hold back from going all out this Diwali, hence affecting businesses.
Business is very slack, eh? Yeah, not before Diwalis. This Diwali is not good for the business.
But from previous years till this year, in Diwali, it's a bit low.
It was really bit busy, but not that like before it was last year, like that.
While some have made decent sales in the past few days, many business owners are just remaining hopeful.
We think that everything should be normal, so that our business run good.
So we are really doing well in sales in this week.
Retailers are hoping the impact of COVID-19 will ease soon with a number of initiatives announced by the government. Kuritan Tulala, FBC News.
We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
In the world of currencies, the foreign exchange markets found no new direction in assorted comments from a panel of central bankers from the US, Europe and Britain. They welcomed the encouraging results in vaccine trials, but stressed that the economic outlook remains uncertain. Meanwhile, the US government started fiscal year 2021 with an October budget deficit of $284 billion. It's a record deficit for the month as coronavirus-related revenues declined due to the pandemic. It is 111% higher than October 2019's deficit of $134 billion and 61% higher than the record October deficit of $176 billion in 2009 during the financial crisis and recession. And that's all for this week. And from the staff and management of your HFC Bank, wish you all a safe and happy Diwali. Vinaka.
Here are the local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar gained across the region, pegging higher against the Aussie and Kiwi dollars and the PNG Kina. Aside from the regional rise, it slipped slightly against major international currencies. Prices were mixed on the commodities market. Crude oil dropped to $40 per barrel. Gold rose slightly at $1,877 per ounce. And silver closed up at $24.27 per ounce. The Lambasa Municipal Council lost revenue as the Subrail Park was not being used for the last 1.5 years. Local government minister Pramila Kumar says the park had to be upgraded so that it can be given for sports events and festivals. Kumar says they have been invested around 300,000 to refurbish the park. She adds the work has begun and shall be completed soon as the Fiji Flag tournament will be hosted at the park.
Over the years, because Sodelpa Park was not upgraded, there was a loss of revenue for Lambasa Town Council.
And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Whitney, and good evening in Sports Tonight. New captain for Flying Fijians. And boxers ready for final event. This and more coming up.
FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Simi Randrandra has been ruled out for the Flying Fijians match against France on Monday, and Lepani Mbotia will now captain the side. Randrandra is one of 2 players that's tested positive for COVID-19, as reported by French media today. Head coach Vern Cotter has named the side to face France. 4 players will make their debut, with Kichone Kamikamida starting in the number 7 jersey, while Harieti Hetet, Manueli Ratunayarawa and Simeone Kurvoli will come off the bench. Penny Rabai, Nemani Nandolo, Mbotia, Waisea Nayadalevo and Kini Murumuri Valu are the senior players in the side. Cotter says despite the COVID-19 challenges, the Ramsamy Suva open side flanker Taniela Sundrungu has come a long way since making his debut in the Skipper Cup 4 months ago. The 20-year-old, dubbed the White Shark, has been making headlines throughout the competition and is excited about his first Skipper Cup final against Naita Siri tomorrow. Karleni Tavi has more.
Taniela Sundrungu debuted for Suva in round 1 against Nandronga at Lawanga Park in Singatoka when he came off the bench, replacing Vasikali Mundu.
The experience this year was a very good one because of the many overseas best players were playing for the local competition this year. It was a very good experience.
The former Ratu Kandavulevu student has since hung on to the number 7 jersey and says they're expecting a tough clash against Naitasiri tomorrow.
Because final we'll just improve our mistakes from last week. And we know Naitasiri well. They're a very tough team to beat. So we'll be expecting a very tough match this week. They beat us in that area of the game, the scrum and the line-out, so we will improve our scrum and line-out this weekend.
Suva manager Nemani Tuifangalele says the young players will be a threat to senior players in the future.
The younger ones that are coming in have actually played quite well and have stamped their mark on some of the jersey numbers. And again, that's another threat to the senior players. But I guess we are trying to blend more. We're trying to get a blend of a good team between young players and senior players.
Suva is ready to defend its keeper title against Naitasiri tomorrow at ANZ Stadium. The match will kick off at 6 p.m. Carlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Reaching the Skipper Cup final is one goal achieved for the Naitasiri women's team as the Lady Highlanders prepare to take on Lautoka in the final tomorrow. They have not forgotten those who have helped them along the way. Tale Materakula reports.
It has been quite a journey for Naitasiri since the inception of Women's Skipper Cup in 2018.
I believe for last year we had aimed for top 4 finish, and this year before the season started we spoke about finishing top 2, and being here in the final is quite exciting. Well, atmosphere in camp has been pretty good in terms of team spirit.
The support from fans and families have been the driving pillar of the team.
The family's been our main backbone of this team, and our loved ones who've been there through thick and thin. They've been sponsoring us in terms of whatever we want. They've been there every Saturday cheering us on.
But all credit goes back to the players who have been performing consistently throughout the 14 rounds.
The girls, basically, they look after themselves. Everything they've attained and everything they being in the finals, it's because of their own hard work.
Whether the Skipper Cup is taken to the Highlanders or to the West will be known tomorrow after 2 p.m. when Naitasiri takes on Lautoka at ANZ Stadium in Suva. Tale Materkula, FBC Sports.
The Mba football team wants to end the year on a winning note with the Fiji fact just around the corner. The Men in Black are the tournament's most successful team, winning the prestigious title 8 times since it started in 1991. However, they are preparing for a tough road to the knockout stage, being grouped in Pool A with Lambasa, Nasinu and Rewa.
It's a tough pool. Obviously, it's a tournament, so all teams will come prepared. We have to do our best from right from the first whistle, and we do hope to qualify and take it all the way and try and win the tournament.
The Kirin Boxing Promotions is all set to get underway tomorrow at Prince Charles Park in Nandi. The boxers had their weigh-in today following weeks of preparations and are eager to go into their respective bouts. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Despite the setback of one of the boxers pulling out of the main supporting bout due to an injury, the organizers cannot wait for the show to get underway tomorrow.
Yes, certainly we had an immense support today. People came all the way from Suva, from Naitasiri to support this weigh-in, and we're happy that the main bout, the boxers made the weights, and this fight is definitely getting on tomorrow, which is on the schedule at 8:30 p.m.
The main bout will be between Chese the Hitman Ravundi and Ronald the Terminator Naidu, while the main supporting bout will see Epeli Langilo and Alvereti Kayada go toe-to-toe.
All very good. We were looking forward. The weather is good. The people weights were very good. The boxers were just on the very fitness, and we're very happy to have this tournament on this day.
Many boxing fans are also eagerly awaiting the main bout, as it will be a rematch.
The main bout itself, the one that has Chese Ravundi and Ronald Naidu, we've seen them fight before. There is much left to be answered. These questions will be answered tomorrow in the ring.
The Kirin Promotion Boxing will start at 2 p.m. with the exhibition fights. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Coming up in new media, Facebook extends a ban on U.S. political ads. Details after the break.
Baik tu Delhi mereka tahu, Radio Fiji बहुत Radio Fiji रोज सुनता हूँ.
Radio Fiji 2 देश की धड़कन.
And we're joined now by the beautiful Angie with the latest weather update.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Fine conditions was the in thing about today. Diwali is also around and so is good moods. Now contributing to that is good weather. Hope this great weather sticks around so we can all model in our lovely outfits. Anyways, looking around to other centers in the west, the sun was full on, very pretty and outstanding conditions. A pool day is a must, especially with all that heat. Eastwards from Bakhaba to Suva, cloudy conditions have ended, but it will look so much better tonight. And up north, good conditions have surfaced. Heat is a bit unbearable to some point, but have a cool drink. At sea, southeast winds gusting from 20 to 25 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 12:03 a.m. with high tide at 6:12 a.m. Sunrise at 6:22. For tomorrow, we are in luck. Decorate your homes, make sweets, or even dance out in the open because the weather is just fit for it. Tomorrow's temps, Lotoka will have warm temps again, ranging at 34 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, more great weather coming our way. Plus, it's Diwali Day. It's super exciting, so have a wonderful one. Happy Diwali to one and all. Now it's back to the Rosini Buka, Lawa, Tops Go. Happy Diwali to you.
Shukriya Gigi, Dhanteras aapko shubh ho. Happy Diwali to you and yours. And in Fijian Pulse, we asked, what would it take for Naitasiri and Suva to win the Skipper Cup?
I think Naitasiri can win, but they need to work together. Suva can win because they are a fit team.
Well, Naitasiri team is a good team. The only thing they can gain scores just to use their kicker, you know.
Yeah, Suva is he got a good forward back. And, the back line to us is very good.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Northern consumers deprived of savings. Rumbuka lodges complaint against Prime Minister and Fijians get into the Diwali spirit. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question we're asking, have you already prepared your Diwali decorations? Visit our FBC website to answer. And on to today's shot of the day, last one for the week. Now this was the Diwali setup by our very own FBC news team. Absolutely gorgeous. And be sure to send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable long weekend. Ni Modamanda.
कुमार स्वामी नायक गोमवा लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।